Hey, Ag Teacher Thoughts here, coming at you with another video, and this is a video for my greenhouse class. And my greenhouse class happens in the fall, and one of the subjects that I wanted to cover was grafting. Now, that's because really we're not ready to go with the greenhouse now as far as the plants. They come in January, and it's a 2-semester class. So we learn about plants in the fall, and then we do the greenhouse work in the spring. So I wanted to cover some plant topics, and one of those was grafting. Now, most people are going to think of grafting with fruit trees like apples and pears and peaches and things like that. Or even, woody ornamentals can be grafted. But few people realize that you can actually graft vegetables, right? So this is a grafted tomato. And let's see if I can come back and focus on that. Sorry, the funky light. It's for those grow lights. So this is a tomato. These are actually 2 different tomato plants. So we have our rootstock, which was below the cotyledon, and then we have our scion material, which is up above the cotyledon. And we did a cleft graft in these, so a nice diagonal cut. We lined them up, and we used a grafting clip. And this is a grafting clip that was 3D printed, so that was holding it together. You can see how that looks. It is on Thingiverse if you want to go buy or have them printed for you. But you do the cleft graft, you put on the clip, then you tent it like this, right? And then you wrap saran wrap over it. And I found to keep the humidity up, the best thing to do was put them in a tray of water. And that's fertilizer water, so there's some fertilizer mixed in there. And then you leave them under tents, which this one I've taken that off. You leave them under the tent for a week, week and a half, and then you take it off and plant them up. So this gives students a great practice for grafting without having to risk expensive scion material. I mean, these were cheap seeds that I bought at a local farm store at the end of the season. And I've come in, and there's some more grafting material down here that we can go through. And doesn't really matter what varieties, because you're just doing it for practice. We're not doing it for anything special. Not all of them will take. So you can see the grafting clips here on ones that didn't take. And these over here, ones that did take back here. We'll bring these out so we can look at them in a little bit better light. So yeah, there's our grafting clips. I'll take this one off here because that needs to come off. And I'll take this one off. Sorry, my phone seems to have trouble focusing today. I think this one has already come off. And then these two, they didn't make it. Okay, there's our little grafting clips. There's another one there. Another one there. Yep. Okay, so those are grafted tomatoes. All of those were 2 different plants. So you can kind of see that graft right there. There's that cleft graft there. This one I think was down lower. That one was right there. This one over here. You can see it right down there. But yeah, it's a little bit different. Of course, this one, the rootstock survived, but the scion material did not. So we're going to take these now, and we're going to put them in some bigger containers, and we're going to just grow them in our classroom, maybe hydroponically. And they're still purple because of the lights behind me. But not too bad. Not too bad for our first experiment with grafting tomatoes. I did try this with another class at my last school, and our tomatoes were much, much bigger, and it did not work very well. So this is our first successful grafting of tomatoes. If folks are interested, I can post links to the online resources. YouTube is a great way to learn about this. But there you go. Grafted tomatoes, 2 different varieties on one plant using 3D printed grafting clips that you can get the files on Thingiverse. And I we were looking at 2 to 3 millimeter were the ones that worked the best for us. But anyway, that is something new and different for us. I'll give you some more updates. I might shoot a better video later, but that is grafting of tomatoes. So definitely an easier grafting lab that you can do in your classroom. And for those of you that have students that you don't want to put a grafting knife in their hands, grafting of tomatoes can be done with a scalpel and with not as much force. So as long as they're careful, they're less likely to take off a hunk of finger. If you're really concerned, put them in a cut-resistant glove. But there you go, grafting tomatoes instead of grafting trees to give them grafting practice. Okay, hope you learned something. For those of you that never knew you could graft tomatoes, there you go, something special. All right, hope you learned something. Ag Teacher Thoughts out.